Hey there, it's tedradaigre. It has been a minute since I made a video, so I just thought I would come and chit chat with you all and see kind of what comes up, right? That's going to determine what it is. Shift my wig. It's so hood. I guess I wanted to touch on a couple of pretty random things. The first thing would be the royal wedding. Now, I would be the first to admit I really wasn't interested. I did not watch it. I only know that it happened because of Instagram. One of the things that stood out to me the most is a picture that's going around that Meghan took when she was 15 years old in front of Buckingham Palace. And then this past weekend, she was marrying into the royal family. I thought that was such an amazing manifestation. That was just such a beautiful, beautiful moment. I've been to London once, and Buckingham Palace is beautiful. Of course, we couldn't go in, but you know, from the outside, it was really, really pretty. So I thought that was just really cool that she was able to, I mean, you know, God has such a sense of humor, and the fact that years later she is now a part of that family, I just thought that was real, real cool. But there's a message that I wanted to bring to you all, one that God has really been, you know, talking to me a lot about, downloading in me a lot lately. And I shared this on my Instagram earlier today, a 1 minute, you know, snippet of it. But oftentimes we find ourselves praying over and over and over again, asking God for the same things over and over again, going through the same cycle of brokenness, the same cycle of brokenness, the same toxic relationships, job to job, lack of money, all of these things over and over and over again. And we like to ask God, why? Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? And if I'm being transparent, I've kind of been asking the same question for the last few years. And recently, I was talking to God again, and he just dropped this phrase into my head, or into my spirit, which was disrupt the dysfunction. And it was in the middle of the night, and I sat right up in my bed. I was like, oh my God, that is so right. You know, because I lack energy, because I have low iron, but it's also because I don't eat the right things. I don't eat meat, and I have it for years, but I don't eat the right things. I eat way too much sugar, you know what I mean? So God was like, if you expect change, then you have to change. You know, we look at God as this miracle worker because he is, right? And we think that it's as simple as saying, God, I don't want to go through this anymore. And he's going to snap his finger and all is going to be fixed in your world. But the word does say faith without works is dead, right? And it's not realistic to believe that you can manifest the life of your dreams without changing something. Because right now you're not living the life of your dreams, right? You're not living the life of your dreams. So you have to do something in order for your life to look different. So then the question becomes, how do you disrupt the dysfunction? Well, that's simple. You have to do the complete opposite of what you have been doing. It is really that simple. Why do we make things so hard? We want to, analyze everything down to the cellular level, right? When it's not really even that deep. You know, if you're tired of being broke, then you need to figure out how you're going to add more income, bring more income passively, bring more income in, right? How are you going to do that? Well, you might have to sit for some hours to figure that out. You might have to invest in some classes, invest in some books to try and figure out how you can increase your income. Because if you're working a job, we know how that's going to go. You might get a 50 cent, $2, $3 a year raise, but God, what is that going to do? Right? They're going to take most of that away in taxes. So you have to do some work. You ask God for more income, and chances are he's going to give you an idea. And you have to be ready and willing to execute on that idea. Even if you don't fully know how it's going to work. It's not for you to know how it's going to work. It's for you to take the first step. And believe that God is going to put all of the resources that you need right in your path. Yes? So the same thing goes with energy, as I touched on a minute ago. If you lack energy, chances are you lack money in your bank account. Because energy, money is just energy. So if you're lacking energy in your physical body, chances are you're lacking energy in your bank account. And that's just so real. So what do you need to do? You need to start eating cleaner. I eat way too much sugar, so I'm going on this sugar detox, right? I have to eliminate the sugar because it drains me, right? It may give me a sugar high for a second, but then I'm drained. So if you feel like your romantic relationships are, you just go from one bad one to another. Maybe you just need to stay single for a while. Maybe that's what God is saying to you. You just need to stay single for a while and work on you. And I think I talked about that in another video. So whatever is dysfunctional in your life, I want you to take out, I got these hairs that keep flying in front of my eyes. I want you to take out a journal, piece of paper, and a pen. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Nobody's going to see this but you. And write down all of the areas of your life that are dysfunctional. So it could be with your health. It could be, like I said, in relationships. It could be in your finances. Maybe you really don't like your job. You hate going into your workplace every single day for whatever reason, right? Of course, we're grateful for it because it's, God dang it. We're grateful for it because it's paying your bills, but it may be very dysfunctional. So you want to take the time to write down all of the areas that are dysfunctional in your life. And then write that on one half of the paper. Then on the other half, write down what the total opposite of what that is. What does that look like? So if you're in a toxic relationship, the opposite is a loving relationship. Yes? So then you got to figure out what it is that you need to do in order to manifest more love in your relationship. And be okay with the fact that may mean that relationship has to end. Okay? That may mean that. So if another dysfunctional area is your money, then the opposite of that is increased income. We already talked about that. You may want to join an MLM. They're not pyramid schemes. Some of them are, but most of them are not. You may want to start an Amazon store or start selling on Shopify, which takes hours of learning. There's a learning curve to both of those, but that can be passive income, right? You may have to put in several hours in the front end, but once you get everything flowing and in place, then you don't really have to be involved as much throughout the week. Okay, you may want to start up a business that involves products or offer a particular service, right? But somehow you're going to have to start to bring in more income, because the answer is not going to your boss and asking for a raise, because that might just get you fired. All right, so disrupt the dysfunction. And another thing that I want to point out is, this is for the believers of God. If you don't believe in God, this may not be for you. But we have to start to spend more time with God. And I think that is where the magic lies, is cultivating your relationship with God. The closer we are to God, the better quality of life we experience. That's just what I believe. And I know everybody may not believe that. So you may need to start to pray more, spend more time with God. You may need to start meditating more. Y'all know I love prayer and meditation. I feel like they are the peanut butter and jelly of manifestation. I've been saying that for a couple of years now. They go together. Just like you got some Kool-Aid, you need some sugar in that Kool-Aid, right? So prayer and meditation, peanut butter and jelly, you have to have them both. So maybe your answer is, if you feel like, well, I don't know what to do. I know I need to increase my income. I know I need to fix my relationship. I know I need to eat healthier, but I just really feel like I don't know where to start. Well, you start with your prayer to God. And don't make prayer so hard. So many people, they don't pray because they feel like they don't know how to pray. And for me, you know, we've been taught to get on our knees. Now I lay me down to sleep, you know, when we were kids. But for me nowadays, I don't necessarily get on my knees. I talk to God all day long. God is a friend. He is a father, you know, and I talk to him all day long. I could be in my kitchen washing the dishes and I'm talking to God. I could be in the car on my way to the grocery store and I'm talking to God, right? God is here. He is within. So it's not like we have to wait until the time is right, wait until it's just dark outside and till we've taken our shower and we're on our knees on the side of our beds in order to talk to God. That's just goofy. So just take the time to talk to him all day long, all throughout the day, and he will give you answers, but you have to be quiet. You know, it's a two-way conversation. Just like you have a conversation with your best friend, you know, you speak, and then you hush, and then they speak, right? It's the same thing when communicating with God. You say what it is that you want. He says to write the vision, make it plain, ask, believe, receive. You have not because you ask not. So obviously we need to talk to God. And we need to be clear on what it is that we want from him. And then we have to go into meditation where we are just sitting in silence. Be quiet and listen. And anytime this idea drops in your head, make sure that you write it down so that you don't forget what it is. So hopefully this message helped you in the process of disrupting the dysfunction. That's the only way that things are going to change in your life. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and put down below if you want me to touch on different topics. Let me know what they are. If you are interested in coaching, I do that as well. I do one-on-one coaching. We focus on your mindset and elevating your mindset and therefore changing your lifestyle. Talk to you all soon.